All right, let's just talk for a minute. This is Mike James with the Truth in Sports by MRJ.com. Just talking to you a little bit about the Fab Five. Now, the main thing I'm going to talk about right now is the criticism that Jalen Rose had been receiving about one of his comments in the documentary. And I'm sure a lot of people saw it, the movie 30 for 30, the Fab Five, following the Michigan story of Chris Webber, Jackson, all the guys, you know their names. But lately, I've heard some serious criticism on talk radio, other radio shows, from Jalen Rose comment about Duke not accepting players or not recruiting players like himself from the inner city, and basically going after guys who come from affluent families, wealthy families, black guys that come from a certain polished type families and are polished type people. Now, his words in the documentary, and this is the thing that really gets me because I've heard Billy Packer comment on it, heard another guy, Mark Zarzer or Taylor Zarzer, comment on it as well. And they took offense to what he was saying, said it has no place in commentary, what he said about saying that Duke basically recruits Uncle Tom type players. Now, Jalen Rose said this in the movie, relating it to how he felt at the time. An 18-year-old kid from the inner city of Detroit. That's how he felt about Duke. He had his own reasons, which he went over, why he basically hated Duke, what they stood for, and his perception of them. He also went on to say he was jealous of Grant Hill, his whole family situation. His mother roommated with Hillary Clinton. His father, a Dallas Cowboy football player. He expressed why he had that resentment with his own father being a NBA player and him not even knowing Jalen and Jalen not knowing him. But that's besides the point. The point is, it's amazing how different people can hear the same thing totally different. Jalen said, I felt like those players were Uncle Tom's. That's how he felt. Felt is past tense. It means at some prior time. Now, listening to some of these talking heads, they're taking as if Jalen said that today, that I feel like these players are, but that's not what he said. He said, I felt that way. He also said he felt like Christian Laettner was, words I don't care to use. But he also said he found out the guy was a baller, so he had a lot of respect for him. But and a lot of people will take things out of context and just run with it. And then when he was asked about it on First Take, which I watched the video on YouTube, it's out there. He said, and Jay asked him, "Do you feel?" Jay Crawford asked him, "Do you feel the same way?" He said he still feels like Duke recruits a certain type of player. He said he feels like they don't go after the inner city kids still, and that they go for the polished kids comes from polished families, and also kids that come from affluent families, and they're not looking for kids in the inner city like himself. He said he still feels that way, but he never stated that he feels like those kids that go to Duke now are Uncle Tom's. He never said that. So why? My question is, with these people that are trained media persons, are trained media people that have ears to hear and really, I mean, hone in on what someone is saying, listening to the word tense that they're using, and be able to come up with responsible responses to what they hear. But these two people that I mentioned earlier, man, I was taken back by it. I could not believe that they listened to the same thing I listened to, but came out with a totally different response. The reason why is because they didn't really listen. They heard what they wanted to hear. So no, I feel like Jalen ought to be applauded for being totally honest at the way he felt and express how he felt as an 18-year-old, as well as how he feels about who Duke recruits today. But he in no way, shape, form, or fashion call these guys today Uncle Toms, or holds on to the same thought that those players that played back then were Uncle Toms. Again, he said that's how he felt. And what he said was he felt that way. And when was he talking about? He was talking about when he was playing for Michigan as a freshman, as an 18-year-old. Come on, y'all, get a grip. I mean, it's ridiculous that someone has to go back and teach people how to listen that are supposedly trained to do exactly that. That's my take on the Jalen Rose situation. I'm out. You can read some posts. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do too is I got a blog talk radio station site place, and I'm going to be doing some interviews, talking to people about sports, giving you my take, and even on some of the things that we hear in the news, and even some things that sportscasters run with, and then give you the real deal on it, so that you can get some real perspective and some real knowledge. All right, I'm out. Peace.